time.
Hey guys, we're going to be looking over Teacup Tempest. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Despite the name, I didn't think much about this weapon. I kind of looked at it, said, alright, just a sidearm. None of these damn sidearms are worth a damn. I've got wormwood. That's the only thing that I need to be rocking inside Crucible every time I want to sidearm it out. But this thing surprised me, man. And the reason why it surprised me is it rolled with reactive reload and crowd control on one fucking sidearm. That's right, guys. Nasty. So you saw the title where I said 3 body shots. Exactly right, guys. Once those things activate, I only have to shoot someone 3 times. Not even a crit, just in the body to actually land that kill. Now, fellas, before we get started, let's hit our featured subscriber, Phase Nitro Shock 360 Insta Swap. God bless, man. These names, dude. Favorite Ant Cannon, Baby Hogmoon. I got Spray and Play, Rifle Barrel, Hidden Hand. Love your vids, man. Dude, I love your name. I'm just gonna be honest. Phase Nitro Shock 360 Insta Swap. I'm blown away. I obviously went the wrong direction when choosing Aztecross, man. With that being said, guys, if you want to be a featured subscriber, as always, just like this video. Of course, subscribe, because you got to do that in order to actually be thrown into a raffle. And comment down below. And today, I want to know your favorite sidearm in the game, man. Whatever it may be, whether it's exotic or legendary, or even rare, because I myself have used a bunch of rare sidearms. I would love to know exactly which one is your favorite. So, guys, let's get started.
When the waves and sand collide, I will be there every time. Let me be your high tide. Just like the water ride, come rush you back every time. Let me be your high tide. Let me be your high tide.
So I paired this sidearm up with no land. Gotta say, guys, it was working really good with no land. And the good thing about, you know, especially if you want to get gameplay of a sidearm, pair it up with no land, and it's gonna force you to have to use that sidearm at times. A lot of situations that you will need a good sidearm, and that's when you're gonna really tell if you've got a good sidearm or not. In those situations where you're having to have a secondary pan out in those mid to close range situations and get your ass out of a jam. Now this is mine right here. It's got true sight. It's also got crowd control, of course, hand loaded, reactive reload. Man, all of these things makes it a bona fide badass sidearm. Now the stability is the thing that's really hitting this sucker in the mouth. 71 stability is not necessarily a healthy one. Actually, base default stats at 69 stability is what Teacup Tempest has, which is the worst out of all the damn sidearms. And you know, stability really does matter in those situations where you gotta spam those shots, man. You gotta have something that's gonna stay steady for you. Now here's the other side of things that's really working against Teacup Tempest. It is in that archetype of sidearms that's never been really the more preferable archetype. If you look at things like Wormwood, that's got a really good time to kill at 0.6 seconds and a great time to kill at body shot damage at 0.8 seconds. You got other weapons that go even lower than that. Your Impeacher, your Trespasser, your Anton's Rule. I've never really liked Impeacher or Anton's Rule, but huge fan of the Wormwood. With that being said, though, I've always been a huge fan of, yes, Crow's Eye. Crow's Eye is a House of Judgment sidearm. And I know I'm getting in a bunch of lingo here, but what I'm trying to say is when I picked up Teacup Tempest, I kind of felt right back at my roots whenever I started to deal with sidearms way back when, and that's kind of where Teacup Tempest brings you. Now let's talk a little bit about this gameplay, whether or not this needs to be the sidearm for you. So the first thing I noticed after messing with Teacup Tempest is that I don't necessarily need to treat it the way that I've treated other sidearms, especially Wormwood. Wormwood has always been the main thing that I would use only in close-up situations. Yes, you can, especially if you got things like hand-loaded and stuff helping your range out. You can use it kind of sort of at the end of last word range kind of area, you know what I mean? I wouldn't necessarily go in there and be banking on it getting you through that gunfight, but you can use it. With that being said though, I never really was going out there and aiming for that. This weapon right here really, like I said, really reminds me so much of Crow's Eye, especially when I bounce on that hand loaded and gives myself that little bit of extra range, man. That throws my range up there at 36, which is extremely high for a sidearm. This allows me to really battle out in those mid-range situations. So what I'm saying about this sidearm, and I'm not saying that you should main sidearm or run around the entire game with your sidearm, but what I am saying about Teacup Tempest is that you can do that. You really can. And that's what I was finding myself in situations, is that I almost was like, wow, I don't really need to put this sidearm away. Now, is it the best sidearm I've ever used? Probably not, because it's not that I don't necessarily think it's a great sidearm. It's the fact that I like to use my primaries. I like to use other weapons. I don't necessarily want to get in a situation where I want to main a sidearm. I don't know if you know some of your other Rumble players out there. There's a lot of Rumble players out there that use nothing but sidearms in Rumble, and they do wonderfully well with them. They definitely have thrived and become top tier players in the Rumble playlist by using nothing but sidearms. And the sidearms that they would always use normally would be something like Crow's Eye. Some have used Jabber Hockey before, I've seen, but a lot of them I've seen use Crow's Eye, and the reason why that was, it's because simply Crow's Eye had a good amount of stability, but it also had good range on it as well, which allowed them to simply main it throughout the entire game, use it at mid-range levels, pretty consistently so. And there was a lot of times that you saw weapons like Crow's Eye outgunning weapons like Last Word, simply because you can just spam it so quickly. And I feel like Teacup Tempest has definitely served that purpose. Now, would it replace my Crow's Eye? That's a tough one. That's something that I was constantly thinking about. I'm like, wow, is this gun good enough? I can tell you right now, whenever reactive reload and crowd control would actually proc, when I was able to sit there and 3-tap body shot people with ease, I mean, 75 a body shot, that's a lot of damage, guys. That can kill any Guardian, any Guardian, no matter what their armor level is, with ease. I've really sat there and scratched my head, man, because in those moments when you've got a team of 6 on you and you have to turn around and reload and start spamming more shots into people, that shit helps so much to just chew through people. And I found myself really, really enjoying those two stacked on together. Well, guys, that's my thoughts on Teacup Tempest. I'm honestly impressed. I like sidearms. I've always been a fan of sidearms. I think that it's an aspect of the game that I think too many people don't try out. And simply enough, if you get used to just kind of going around corners, rounding your corners and stuff like that, keeping your distance from people, especially if you use things like Twilight Garrison or Shade Step, or maybe even just blink to just evade out of the way and get behind enemies, man, a sidearm could definitely pair well with all of those evasive maneuvers that make you an extremely deadly force in Crucible. And guys, thank you so much for coming and watching, man. We will be out tomorrow doing all kinds of stuff. I'm probably going to do some PvE stuff with you guys. I will be streaming every day, guys. I'm going to try to aim between 4 and 8 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time. And so I'm going to be trying to aim for those afternoon times whenever you guys are available. So be looking out for us on Twitch. Guys, as always, man, thanks for coming and watching. I'll catch y'all later. Slap that like button like your mama told you right.